Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Furious finishes. And in studio we've got Rob, the Black Tiger, Simbowe. I'm your host, one of the podcast dictators, Kempson, the buzzer Flint, alongside my mans.
Case.
Shout out to the man, Al Cal. Of course, you're going to see him on the next episode. He just out there handling some other production business.
Right on.
Rob, we're going to get straight into it. You know, life deals us some heavy blows.
Yeah, true.
But from those heavy blows, this is why we call it furious finishes. Because at the end of the story is that final glow.
That final glow.
Yes, sir. So take it from the top. First Zambia, then South Africa, and then bring it right back home again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's, guys, thank you again. So it's very interesting, like I had to say no to the life that I was living in the streets in Lusaka.
Right.
Then, I moved to South Africa because I had cousins and all that. But then I came to accept the challenges of, living in someone else's house and being looked after by people. I said, I must just swallow my pride and let me see if I can get a new transition. So for me to change my life, I thought that I need to leave Zambia.
Okay. So 99, 2000, you lost both parents.
Yes.
Right on. So you're now an orphan.
Yes.
And a street kid.
Yes.
I think at some point you even lived under the Manda Hill Bridge.
I slept at Manda Hill, at the same place where I lived in Northmead. I kept sleeping on the Northmead when there was those days of Alpha, Zenon.
Yeah, I remember those days.
HQ, Family 24.
I remember those. Yeah, Northmead has changed a lot.
It has changed a lot.
But I remember those times. Those were rare times too.
It was good. I think those were good times.
They were good times.
Northmead has gone downhill a bit.
It has.
Not
a bit.
A lot.
Northmead has tanked.
Yeah.
It's tanked. Because Northmead was a nice hood. I remember I had a cousin on the flat there. And I loved going there.
You see, like those government flats.
Those are the same
one
ones.
of the best flats. But today, you like...
Dilapidated.
Dilapidated.
Yeah. So which is not good,
So you transitioned between Lusaka and Livingstone.
Yes.
Briefly, what was that like?
It was hectic because at some point when we were caught in trains without tickets, they were actually kicked us off the train on the middle of the bush of nowhere.
Hectic.
Then we had to start walking first of all, walk from where the train is in the bush to find the tarmac. They started walking in the tarmac to try to go to Livingstone. And funny part, I can remember when we did that, we were so thirsty and looking for water, looking for food. When the rain drops and it leaves water on the ground, we had actually to go down and actually try
sip
to
the water.
Sip of water from the rain from there. Then lucky enough, we saw someone with a bus from Lusaka to Livingstone.
Right.
We stopped
and
we explained our situation. I think we were about 3 of us and they gave us a lift. Then that's how we went and they gave us food and all that. But we explained that we're street kids and we've got nothing. So it was very challenging, but also those days did kind of strengthen me, make me who I am today.
To the Black Tiger.
To the Black Tiger.
To have the strength that you have.
To have the strength that I have because I endured a lot more pain than anyone else.
Yeah, quick question. You're saying that it was a group of you. So do you always travel with your friends or?
Some solo moves.
Like
Yeah, so when we're going to Livingstone, all the street kids they liked hiking the train. So we kind of knew each other. Like I'm a street kid from Lusaka and all that. Because even if we're in Livingstone, we're all sleeping in the same street, so we always mingle together and just.
So you had homies in Lusaka and in Livingstone.
Yeah. Remember now, it was funny because the same street kids from Lusaka were the same. What happens? They come from Kitwe Ndola.
Okay.
There's those that were here. So they come from there, they come here, they settle down here, then they start going like this. Then they started doing the transition like that, all of them.
Okay, so speaking of transition, you were pendling between Lusaka and Livingstone?
Yes.
Then
I even went as far as Zimbabwe.
Oh my God.
As a street kid.
Snap.
I jumped the border because I was a kid.
Without a passport?
Without a passport. Because, and funny part,
that's
when
GB.
trucks, that time the border was still fresh, Livingstone and Zimbabwe side. Trucks were
So is this Chirundo or Kariba?
Livingstone.
The Livingstone. Oh,
Yeah,
the Livingstone
it was
one.
easy.
Okay.
Because a lot of people used to do business from there, Zambians, to buy when Zimbabwe was good. They used to do business buying stuff from there, bringing, and I used to jump in the trucks. I sleep at night. Those big trucks, when it's empty, I'll jump in the trailer. I'll hide in the corner because the officials from Zimbabwe side, they are tired already. They can't be looking in. So I'll jump in there when the truck goes through the border. I'll jump out there. Then I became friends with Zimbabwe street kids.
So this is pre 2001 because 2001.
This was like 2000, 2001, around there.
Yeah, because that was when things
Zimbabwe-
got bad in Zim.
Zim,
2001.
Zim they started getting bad in 2002, 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just after they kicked out the white farmers.
When they started kicking out the white farmers, that's when they started. It was okay. Their things kind of figured out, but they paid the price.
Yeah.
After just a few months from there.
Yeah.
So take us now from Zambia to South Africa.
So when I started doing that, then I met a lot of European guys. And tourists are always trying to learn more about us Africans.
Right.
Especially when they come on holiday, they've got free time. So I started interacting with them a lot, where I would spend even hours and hours to talk to them, so that I must get in their head, so that they must buy me food. So when
So
I'm
you're just
doing
trying to
that-
get a plate.
Yeah, just to get a plate, but I need to have to be more interaction with them. Whatever I talk, and I try to learn from them. So they used to tell me, "You well spoken. Why don't you write a book one day? Why don't you do this?"
Yeah. By the way, I'm coming a book with I'm coming to me. I'll ghostwrite it.
I'm
Not ghostwrite, but we collaborate
We
actually.
can because I'm
Collaborate.
working on trying to make up a book because my life is a book story.
Yeah.
That will change a lot of.
Because that's
people's.
what I do. I'm a writer. But
We can work on
Case
that.
also is in the business.
I
of-
dabble.
It doubles. So we're here too, not just on
Okay.
the podcast,
Yes.
but we also want to tell the story
Yes.
from that perspective.
So I think from there, I interacted with a lot of
Yeah.
people, and they did help me from there. Because then after that, they kept getting into my head. They're like, you can make something out of your life than to make money and to do that. Then I started selling copper bangles from like in Livingstone to tourists.
Ah.
I'll be like, this is a copper bangle, this copper, Zambians, we known of copper, we're rich with copper.
The
and
land of
helps
copper.
you with, that
The
story
copper
helps
you got on
with
his shirt
high
right
blood
there.
pressure, sugar, BP, like all those things,
Yes, sir.
So tourists like that a lot.
Yeah.
So I started selling that, but I'm not selling that, I'm selling my personality to them.
Right.
They're buying my character, the way I talk, the way I do that.
So you got into branding at a really young age, pretty much.
Yes, like into more like that, yeah. So then after that, something said, then I had friends, they were like, all we knew, because my mother used to do business in South Africa when she was alive.
Yeah.
When South Africa was into apartheid and all that, they were like the first Zambian used to travel from South Africa all over around the world, in Europe and all that. So I had so much good things about South Africa, and I thought life was easier in South Africa.
That's how you got there.
That's what I thought by then, So then I was like, people used to tell me, you go to South Africa, you can get a job, you can get that. Then I was like, oh, seriously? And I got my first wage in Livingstone. Then after that, I had to hustle through selling bangles and all that for a passport
So the passport from Livingstone also.
also.
Livingstone was a good foundation for you, huh?
It was okay for me. It made a very good transition for me. Because
Okay.
even for me stepping out of the street, I learned that I can just look for a place to sleep.
Right.
Or to stay with someone, then I can go and hustle in a good way where I can sell something or maybe work and come back home than sleeping in the street. Because then at least that was much easier. Then after that, I was like, okay, what about if I just go back even in Lusaka in a family home, then I can be trying to go out and try to work, do all these things and just come back home.
Yeah.
So you've been busy selling yourself already from a young
As a
age.
brand.
Yes.
You're building your brand in a way because you're selling your bangles, you're talking to these tourists.
Yes.
You're eloquent in your speech, so you're getting all this information that's being
100%.
fed into you. Then you decide to move to SA.
Yes.
So how did you then transition? You get into SA, then how did MMA come about?
So thank you, that's a good question. So when I moved to SA as well, it was difficult, I'm a kid and we're not well educated by then. And being a foreigner, you can't just get any job in South Africa as well,
Yeah.
like easily. It's either you need to have a qualification and all that. Then when I went,
Paperwork.
my cousins were in Cape Town. Then when I went to Cape Town, then they're all like, pushing trolleys, like, on the airport, but, like intercity, basically like intercity, the way it is.
So a terminal.
People-
A terminal,
A
basically.
terminal, like
Yeah.
a bus terminal.
Bus terminal.
Then, it was famous. African, like, they were a bit calm by then. They don't want to do a lot of hectic stuff. So I'll hire a trolley from someone who had a company hiring trolleys.
Right.
Like a proper trolley. You pay maybe 30 rand a day. Then I'll be, if the bus comes, I'll walk to you. I'm like, ma'am, hi, ma'am, can I help you with your luggage? Where you going, to your car or anywhere? Then I started doing that. Then after that,